something along those lines. Who knows?
Yes. Welcome to another episode of Morelia Python Radio. In this episode, it's just me and Owen. 5:34. Got a lot of stuff to catch up on.
Many.
And
yeah.
Figured now that Carpet Fest is.
When was the last time we had? When was the last time we had an NPR episode? That was you and me.
It was slacking.
We canceled a lot of shows leading up to Carpet Fest. You were sick. I was sick. You were sick again. I think if we would stack this season up to the other ones, we're going to come up 4 episodes short.
I think it might be a little more than 4.
Yeah. At this point, I think it might be a little more than 4.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
We're still way ahead of the game, though. That's all right.
Exactly. Find me another podcast that has 530 something episodes. Get out of here.
Right. Exactly. Let's see. So a couple of things. One.
Yes.
Carpet Fest was awesome time.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about it a little bit on Carpets and Coffee, but if you don't listen to that, figured, it was a good time.
Why you don't listen. Why do you listen to NPR and not listen to Carpets and Coffee? I don't
know. But Lucas is back on Carpets and Coffee, so if you just didn't want NPR 2.0.
If you just didn't want us, I understand. Well, now I get it. Yeah, I understand that. I don't want to listen to us either.
Yeah, there was a lot of them, too, where we didn't know whether to call it NPR or Carpets and Coffee, but usually Carpets and Coffee is just a hangout, just shit.
It just kind of clicked in,
But I will say this: so Carpet Fest was really good time. What did you say, about 100 people, maybe?
I'd say close to
70 to 100, somewhere in that area,
and a lot of new faces too. There were a lot of new people, which I really liked.
It was really awesome.
So much so that I don't even know. First off, I'm terrible with names anyway, and I'm
do name tags.
Yeah, dear God, dude! I was talking to people, and I'm no idea who you are. It's no clue.
Well, and the funny thing is a lot of them, you talk to them. There was a lot of people where I didn't know them by face, but as soon as they said their name, I was like, oh, okay.
I know who you are. Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. For me, it was pretty cool because I had pretty much, I want to say, all of the influences for me in the carpet python hobby in one spot, minus maybe Luke Snell and maybe a couple other people. But, you had
a couple people that
Justin
have fallen off the wagon.
There,
yeah.
You had Ryan Young there, you had Nick Mutton there, you had Jason Balin there, you had Eric Kohler there.
Yep.
Bill Stiegel was there. I mean, just, to me, that's...
It was hopeful of some pretty heavy
stuff.
Hitters. Scott Borden ended up coming by.
Oh, yeah. Borden was there.
Yeah, Borden was there. Other Buddy was there.
Yeah.
Adam Gee showed up. Yeah,
I forget.
That was awesome.
He's an East Coast OG.
Mike Curtin, Keith McPeak. Yeah, it was.
How can I? Rob Stone.
Yeah.
And there was even an appearance by Owen McIntyre.
I was
Breeder
there.
of the year.
Yeah, listen.
If there was, plaque, I would have gave you the breeder of the year.
Where is it? You don't think I want to have some sort of trophy?
At the end of the year.
Well, the season isn't over yet. Joe. It's not done yet. It's still happening.
Well, that's why I can't give you the trophy yet.
I know. Those are the rules.
It's still going on.
Oh, my God.
How many species did you breed this year?
I don't know.
More than 10. Has to be more than 10.
I mean, we're just going to lump carpet python in together, right?
I guess you can.
If you want to divide it, it's because
maybe
it's a lot.
Carpet python and breadlie. All
right, yeah. So carpet, breadlie. If we want to split Darwin, I did that, but that was mixed with caramel, so there was coastal in it. So, so carpet, breadlie, Ruffy, Madagascar hognose, rhino rat snake, corn snake, rat snake, pine snake, false water cobra. I think that's it. I'm forgetting something.
Come on, take me to 10, man. You're forgetting
I know
something.
I'm forgetting something. I know it is. I think that's it, though. No, white lips for last year.
Wait.
No white lips.
Olives?
No way. Olive pythons. Damn it. Olive pythons. Yeah. 10.
We're still probably missing a few, but we'll go with that.
it's a never stops.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, I got the
Woma? No, you didn't do.
No, I don't have the womas. Psh, I got rid of those things. Those things are gone.
Dirty dirt snakes.
Dirty, rotten Chinese king rats. 11.
There you go,
11. Shit.
More colubrids than pythons.
Yes. More colubrid species, but I think I had more python clutches.
Are you an MPCR? Is that where you're going to fall?
I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. Like, I think I'll stick with my answer that I gave to the Coulbroid guys when they had me on. I'm not a python breeder or a Colubrid. I'm a snake breeder. So
I like it. Yeah. I like it. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. So, but I just had I just had 12 baby false water cobra hatch out, which is a first for that. That's a new one. So
tell me about that. How are they?
They're horrible.
Okay.
I've never seen babies come out of the egg and then turn the vermiculite into a mixture of egg yolk and vermiculite. Like I don't know how, but they turned the egg box like into sludge. Like they just came out of the egg and then burrowed around and just churned up all the vermiculite, and were literally like knocking the eggs that were still full of their siblings all over the freaking place. Like the other babies are in there just rolling around. So
get out.
Exactly.
That's
so
cool.
I'm pulling babies out and I'm correcting the eggs and cleaning off the eggs, and the other babies are still sitting inside. No harm to any of the babies, but yeah, they all came out except for one. I think I have one more left.
Are they feisty? Are they big?
Oh God, yeah, they're huge. They're huge.
Yeah.
Bigger than any color
size.
I mean, maybe not that big, but I'd say they're pretty on par with an olive python, baby.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. They take up all of that egg, and they come out big, and they're kind of calm, maybe a little bit flighty. And then I'm like, I'm going to try to sex them. And they're like, never. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to not do that. And we're going to just, so I have to figure out how I'm going to do that later. So
it may have to be like how I do help Matt with his Borneos and
dude, it might be, I do have a set of venomous tubes. It may be.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I have a set of venomous tubes. It might be babies going in a tube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be the best way. Yeah.
Man, yeah.
I wonder how Zach does it. That's a good question.
I know. I'd ask him. So I just sent him I sent him a Mad Hog today, or yesterday. He got it today. Yep. My last of my 2022 babies sent to him. And it was one of those like, he's like, I was wondering if you had any Mad Hogs left. I'm like, all right, yeah, just send me a label. He's like, well, how much? I'm like, the same price I paid for them false water cobra. The first taste is always free. So yeah, it's cool to get cool to get him back for that, especially now that the false water cobra have now produced. But I can't imagine. Like I know
how old are they?
They're like 2.5.
2 years.
Yeah, okay. I shouldn't have done it.
Oh, it was way too young.
I mean, it's not that they were way too young. It was that maybe they needed another year. Zach said something about how they never breed before they're like 2 or before they're like 3 or 4, and I just
broke that rule.
I did that.
You showed him.
Never tell me the odds, you know. So
you can't do this.
You can't do this. The hell I can't. But it's. I mean, it's one of those where I know he gets massive clutches out of his females, and I'm like 12. And it's like, and we've had that conversation before. It's like, do you want to have 6 clutches of 12 from smaller females, or do you have 1 clutch of like 45 where they're all the same? And I would rather have the small clutches from individual animals. So it's like, I think 12 false water cobras is plenty.
Are they like owl pythons or water pythons where there's no variability, or is there variability in their pattern, or some lighter, darker?
They all kind of look the same. The thing is that he sent me a high yellow female or high gold female and a high black male. So all the babies have now come out, and they all look normal. Like it is like so. And I think it's just because if I were to try to go for high yellow, I need to pair her with a high yellow. And if I were going to go for high black, I'd have to pair him with a high black. By mixing them together, I now get water. I now get false water cobra. Yeah, that's base model. And I get that. And I think that's cool. I have no interest in going any further of like getting a high yellow male for her and a high black for him, because then at that point I have 4 adult false water cobra, and I don't want to be in that world. I'm happy with my pair here. But yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the false water cobra morphs out there are gorgeous. Have you ever seen a lavender?
I have, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty. So that's all I ever wanted to do, is just make more things to potentially sell. As far as that, I'm not chasing down false water cobra morph. I just want to make more false water cobra. So
yeah, have more variety on your table. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were to go to a show, like say, like I'm sure Hamburg, you're good, but how would the
I'm sure you're fine.
You're fine. Don't worry about Hamburg.
I can put a Mamba in a hot dog launching cannon in Hamburg. It's fine. Yeah.
Is that a Cobra in a Pringles can? Yes.
Well, yes, it is. Good of you to notice.
They have to stand up.
Yeah, so they want it taller. They want taller things.
Yes. Not necessarily arboreal, just taller.
It seems you've labeled one end bitey end. Yes. Don't open that end. All right.
Yes. Are they considered venomous, or are they considered like a Colubrid?
They're considered venomous because there seems to be like this magical world of rear fang venomous where it's like
pretend venomous,
right?
It's like yes, they're venomous, but they're not.
Exactly. So it's like, are you bringing venomous? Just rear fangs. Oh, well then we will not put you in the venomous aisle. Do whatever you wish. Thank you. Like that's okay.
But if it injected the venom into you, you would have problems. Yes, you would.
Yes.
But their fangs are so far back that there's no way.
You can. So, Nipper, cover your ears.
That rule with them.
So, I did get bit by one of the babies. And it's one of those.
Trying to sex them?
Yes. So, Nipper, cover your ears. That didn't happen. La, 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 la.
He's punching the wall right now.
He can't get me. I'm across an ocean. So... Although, what's going to happen is 2 days from now when he's listening, he's going to be like, mate. Yeah, all right. So, singing leg slaps for everyone.
Yes.
It is something that can cause problems for people, like how Madagascar hognose venom can cause problems for people and things like that. It is something that you can be susceptible to, and it's something that can be a major issue. So, I had no effect.
Western hogs are the same, right?
Yes, same deal. I had no effect. Okay. I didn't think I was going to have one, but it's one of those where it happened. I was like, well, guess we'll see how this goes. Which is a bad way to think about it and a bad way to do it. Please don't follow my examples. It's not
12 a.m.
12 a.m.
I'm feeling a little tingly in the finger.
Well,
but I'm still here.
Still here. So it's that.
I can't tell if this was the edible I ate, the shrooms, or the beer.
First off, that's the problem with these things. You get bit by a mad hog or a false water cobra for at least an hour. You're like, all right, is my finger tingling because of something or because I'm like looking at it so intently? Like, right. I don't know. Is that normal? Can I always feel this part of my finger? Yeah. So like you're hitting it on things. You're like, no, still working. So, But that's as far as I would ever go with venomous because clearly I can't be trusted with anything. And I just got Melissa to allow Gila Monster.
Well, at least you can put them on the tongs.
Exactly. Just pick it up. Yeah.
Pick them up like a puppet.
Yeah. Sure. The problem is you're sitting there and the price of a Gila monsters is the same as diamond pythons. You're like, yeah.
My diamond pythons are pounding food right
now.
So
Good.
Fingers are crossed.
Good.
I've been feeding them like every 4 or 5 days.
Good. I would hate to have to just not have two of these beautiful creatures over here. I mean, unfortunately, you pretty much already got 2 of them at this point. That's the annoying part. Be like, I can withhold these from you. Can you? No.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's already done. Damn it.
Foiled again.
But
so they're considered a venom. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, so it's something that you need to be concerned about. So this is not like I don't let people at shows. People are like, can I hold the Madagascar hognose? No, because
are they considered venomous at a show?
Yeah, they should. Oh no, not at a show.
No,
should they be?
So wait, yes, they're rear fanged.
Yes,
they get a pass.
Yes,
the false water covers a real fang. They don't get a pass.
No, they both get a pass.
Oh,
so yes,
water cobras do.
Yes,
too.
all rear fangs seem to get a pass. It's like anything that is a venomous. We're talking a lapid, viperita, all that stuff is over there. Has to be in the venomous aisle. But
I don't know if that's a good thing, though.
I don't know if it is either. So now the other thing is that you're not. It always seems to be that it's not the people that strictly do venomous that have the rear fangs. It's almost like, why am I going to play with a BB gun when I have this over here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I get it. So It's always the people that have other things that have the false water cobra, or they're people that are just done for false water cobra, but they never set up in the venomous aisle. They're always like an aisle in with the python stuff or things like that. So there's never seems to be a problem with that. That being said, like Kohler brings his Gila monsters. Should they be considered venomous?
Well, they are, right?
They are. But
I mean, they're the only venomous lizard.
They don't make him set up in the venomous aisle. He just sets up his Gila monsters. Now, there are rules of how to transport venomous. Like his Gila monsters have to be like taped into their deli cups, but that's not something that I have to do for false water cobra or mad hogs.
Interesting.
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know where the line is. There has to be one snake that like you're like, oh, no, that one has to be taped. Huh? Really? A mangrove? Like what? Like that's the one over the line.
They're rear fanged as well.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's the thing. I remember watching. I think it's called the Venom interviews.
Right.
And on there they were talking about false water cobras, and I think I'm probably going to mess this up. I want to say that their venom is more potent than, say, a mangrove.
Mm-hmm.
It's one or the other. I'm probably mixing it up, but basically saying that one of those species, I think it was a false water cobra, their venom was stronger.
Okay,
but their delivery system isn't as good as the mangrove. And the mangrove only can inject, like the amount that they can inject is what is the. I'm probably butchering that.
I mean, I don't know about that one. I mean, I don't know about that one because, like, to be honest, like,
I'll have to come back.
you get bit by one of your rear fangs. You know, you're like, maybe I should Google this, and like, you never want to do that because then all you hear the horror stories. But you also get the ones where it's like. You get the actual papers and stuff that talk about venom yield and you know, effectiveness on humans and things like that. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's my own stupid fault. They're awesome. I absolutely love them. But it is a cool thing that I was not. It was really more of a dry run that I was hoping to do, is to kind of put them together.
You get the rattlesnakes?
Well, no, dear God, no. A dry run of the breeding season with my pair. I wanted to pair them together, make sure everybody was cool, kind of do a dry run, see what happened. And she was not interested in him at all. She was bucking him off. She was trying to throw him, but he was interested. And I'm like, okay, cool. So now they haven't killed each other and there's interest. Excellent. So I separated them, and then I didn't even know she was gravid. I'm like, all right. And then I didn't see her. Her nest box, all the stuff. It looked like her nest box was kind of overflowing. And I'm like, why would she go in there and fuck everything up? And I opened it up, and there were the eggs. And I'm like, well, that's why.
Oh, so you didn't even know at all?
Nope. Nope. And then I was like, all right, I'll set them up. They're probably all slugs because they kind of look a little off-white. And then they just kept going. And I'm like, any minute now they'll crash because they're not fertile because everybody's too young. Kept going. Any second now, then babies are coming out. Any minute now, it's going to be.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, eventually something's. Yeah, so. Now that, and I hatched out a clutch of white-sided black rat snakes too.
Yeah, that's the one I'm trying to see in PA, and I can't score
a white-sided black rat snake. Easy.
No, I don't want a white-sided black rat snake. I want a black rat snake. On all our herb trips, I gotta find. You say they're out by. You're by your house all the time, so
I catch them basking in my backyard, dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
They got to be around here somewhere.
I mean, they have to be. It's got to be in the right spot.
Huh. Interesting. I was asking my wife about the ringneck snakes, right? Because we were talking about that, and I was telling her, I was just telling her, showing her pictures of what they look like as adults, right? And she's telling me that they come up, the pavers that I had. So she sits on those steps that goes up to the deck.
Yeah, yeah.
And she sits there and she'll smoke a cigarette. And they come up from the pavers, and they're all over the place all the time. She thought they were worms. And I'm like, what the hell?
What else have you been keeping from me?
Do you even know me?
There's this big black one I keep hucking over the fence into the backyard. What? Yeah.
So I picked up the pavers to kind of like look under them like I was flipping. I didn't see any, but
well, now you've disturbed their habitat. You have to go out when your wife's smoking a cigarette and just kind of hang back and then like tuck yourself into the darkness. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course they won't come out when I sit there.
Of course not. I want to see it. Yeah.
I sat there the other night. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait and see what happens.
Listen here, you little bastards.
She's like, oh, yeah, all the time. I was like, why didn't you? She said, I thought they were like, I don't know, like worms or something. And I was like, oh, okay.
They move like worms.
Oh, dear. What are you going to do? But at least I know that there's a bunch of them that live in my yard. So that's
cool. That's a plus.
Yeah. So speaking of false water cobras, Zach's book is I just ordered it the other day.
I ordered mine today. Yep.
Touch Base with Russ Gurley.
Yep.
Man, I know I'm going to butcher the name of this book because it's so freaking long. Hold on. Let me go to the chat.
Hold on. We'll go to the thing, see what's up. Yep.
Yeah, let's see. Where is it? Where did he...
It is...
Yeah, that's way back there.
The Natural History and Captive Care of False Water Cobras, Barons Racers, Musaranans, and other xenodontine snakes. I think I messed that up too.
No, I think you got that right. Okay.
I probably didn't. So it's Zach's book, and he's got a foreword by Mark O'Shea. I love it because I'm looking at the cover, and I'm like, I have false water cobras. And that actually looks like my female looks just like the ones on the cover.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's a Blue Barons Racer over here. And then I have no idea what that is, but I don't have it yet. So it's like, huh.
Wait, Musarana, isn't that Rear Fang? Because they were at Tinley.
Yeah.
Or no, not Tinley. Daytona. It was this past weekend. I want to say Cold Blooded Cafe had them.
Well, and that's the other thing where you sit down and you're like, we're talking about shows. It's like, we were talking about going down to Daytona next year and stuff like that. It's like, what is allowed in Florida out of what I have.
What you have.
Yeah. What is not allowed? What isn't allowed? Are the rear fangs going to be an issue? The false water cobra, the mad hogs. I don't think the mad hogs are, because I saw somebody post up that they picked up a bunch at at Daytona, but for all I know, they picked them up in a hotel room, not in, the floor. There's that kind of stuff.
Well, I swore I saw a post from Cold Blooded Cafe that had them on the table. Maybe they were taking a picture of somebody else's, but they were there.
Right. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I got to put up. Yeah. Do you know how many babies I have to list on my website this weekend? It's ridiculous. So, like,
over 100.
I'd say pretty close. I mean, I got all the albinos, the caramel albinos, the zebra jaguars, and then I have an entire clutch of tigers, males and females. It's ridiculous.
Are people still like, is there still a high demand for tiger carpets as there were?
There freaking better be.
I just remember like when somebody would produce a crazy litter clutch of tigers, it would be nuts. You'd be
that's
fighting
the thing.
For the best.
But the thing is that it's the tigers, I think, are falling into the same problem that jungles are, where everybody got black and yellow animals, and now everything's going to be black and yellow. Everybody fought like hell to get perfectly striped tigers. Mm-hmm. So now every clutch is perfectly striped tigers.
So
and
it loses its...
Right. So now it's one of those, like, what is technically, it's almost like there are levels now to tiger, where it's like, this is a tiger. This is a tiger. Right. Okay. So...
whereas it's like has a zipper back or something like that. It's
right.
Nah, yeah,
something you would have killed me with a rock for, like, 10 years ago. So
I think the next. So here's my idea. Right, my idea with tiger carpets. I listened back to old episode we did, and it's like I remember both of us were like, I want representation of all the tigers
on all the yep.
So I want a little of the red, a little of this red line, a little of the citrus, a little of the high contrast ones, a little of now there's hypo tigers, caramel tigers, Xanic tigers.
This year I produced caramel tigers, Xanic tigers. And so I have caramel tigers, Xanic tigers, red tigers, high contrast tigers. I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
And my caramel tigers I produce this year are M-Pen caramel tigers.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you used a caramel tiger and bred it to an M-Pen?
I used my caramel tiger that I produced, and I bred it to... She's one of my original line tiger things. Like, looking at her, you're like, that's not really an impressive tiger, and that's also not really an impressive caramel. But if you breed her to the right stuff, you get like insane things. So I bred her to a M-Pen caramel stripe that I got from Travis Johnson.
Okay.
So,
wait a minute.
Ooh.
I'm trying to share the screen.
I don't know. I look up, and all of a sudden there's a snake.
Oh, did you see the snake?
I did for a brief moment.
This one. Oh, you can see this when I do that.
Yeah, I can see it. There you go. The hell is that?
So Alex Lyth in Australia. This is one of his selectively bred, what you would call. He just calls it a pure coastal. This is sort of the look that I'm going for. With it, almost looks like a bredlie at the like a striped bredlie at the end of it. You should go and check this picture out if you are listening. Wow,
I should send you a picture of my striped Brisbane that I hide from the world. So the girl that I produced,
nice. But where he's done stripe, but like where Eric Hernandez is doing the Jags and doing the coastals, I'm more into the tigers, but making those colors on a tiger, which is sort of what Alex is sort of doing there in Australia.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the goal to me. I think that's the next level. Well, it's like, where can you take it once they're perfectly striped, right? Like,
in color. It's color.
It's color, you know?
That's what I gotta run you through all the tigers I got over here next time you're here. It's just
yeah, because I remember, like, I still think of it. I mean, it's a classic picture. I'm sure if you've ever read an article on tiger carpets, or if you've ever, I'm sure we've talked about it on the show, some of the old shows that we did live or whatever. But like Jason's Balin's original one that he has,
like this all coiled in, yes,
like, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's just striped. Yeah,
and it's like that khaki and like not really red.
Yeah,
more of like a brick color, you know. But like the contrast between those two, I love the khaki stuff.
So I took a red tiger from Balin and bred it to that tiger I got from you this year. And I have a cool mix of some red tigers, some not red tigers, and, you know, that kind of stuff. But everybody came out with killer stripes. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I know everybody likes the stripe on the side, but I'm kind of a fan of the portals on the side. I kind of like that.
I dig a clean, complete dorsal stripe.
Yes.
Give me a no break in the dorsal stripe. You can do whatever you want on the side.
Now, the tricky part for me is going to be, how do I reproduce that look without having the jag in it? So my question would be, okay, once the jag is bred into it, so I have a tiger jag, in theory, right? Okay. Molly 2.0 is a tiger jag. Well, no, she's not a tiger.
No,
jag.
She's a tiger.
She's a tiger.
Right.
But she came from jag.
Right.
So her father was a jag.
But there's no jag in there.
But is it the jag that's reducing the pattern, or is, like, can you, like, once you've bred it with a jag, can you continue to reproduce that bald back like you can when you put it to a jag?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be difficult.
No, I mean, I don't think it's going to be if you find tigers that have bald backs. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you know how there's just something about, as much as I don't have any interest in keeping jags anymore, that is the thing that I'm going to miss, because you know what I'm talking about, right?
I know.
And it may be that it's just the way it looks on the jag, right? It's so clean. Like when Brian posts up pictures of he has a tiger jag from Molly and V, and he has a red tiger jag from Eric Hernandez. And when you compare the two, I think Eric's has better color, kind of.
Right.
Because there's more of the red and the orange in the saddles and then in the pattern and all. But the Molly V baby is just solid clean.
Like
that clean tiger jag look. That's super clean.
But that's awesome. Like, that's what you want in that kind of stuff. I mean,
can you mix the two? Like, can you get that color? I guess that would be where I would be taking it. Can you get that color with that cleanness on the body? Maybe that's where Brian's going. I'm not sure.
I mean, where I'm going with it, I'll tell you straight up, because I also have
a baby too.
I do. And my girl is very clean, and she's got more of a stripe thing going on than anything else. Because I wanted the tiger, and you wouldn't let me have it. So I went for the
one I wanted. And
I know. Listen, it's fine. But
that is, not to interrupt you, but that is one of the pairings that I am planning this year. I have a Balin MBB from that albino-looking crazy red stuff, just plain red coastal carpet.
That's awesome.
To Molly. So we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
My idea for her is I have several, because I have a lot of tiger boys.
Yes.
And not a lot of tiger girls, which is why I'm keeping a lot of the tiger females that I produced this year.
Good idea.
So I have a red tiger from Buddy that he produced from a MBB line red.
Okay.
So that's one red. The other red I have is Jason Balin red tiger. So I have that red tiger. Then I have another red tiger male that is from that Peterson Balin Russian mix. Right. So literally I could take all three to her in different years. Then I have a yellow gold tiger who's also part of that Russian stuff.
Okay, right.
So I could take him to her if I wanted to. So,
okay, that's a
options.
lot of.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how they turn out.
Yeah.
Will they be all the same? Will you see the characteristics of each? You know what I mean? Like,
then if we want to get real freaky, I have an Axanthic tiger male that I'm keeping. How crazy do we want to get with this?
Yeah. I think at one point I'm probably going to do the hypo to the red and see what happens, because nobody else is probably going to do it. You know?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do it at some point.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It's that if I am successful, I could have hypo tigers to toss in there.
Yeah. You better be successful. What the hell, man?
Listen. At some point, I'd be like, carpet pythons? Psh, too easy. You know, it's...
Well, you better be careful, man. The easy might become the hard.
Yeah.
It's like when you're playing guitar, right? You're shredding out, and then you're like, okay, I have to play. Oh, it's just one note. Oh, this is. Wait. How do
I do my hands?
Wait a minute. This is too easy. It's too easy. It's hard.
I was sitting there trying to figure it out because next year we're doing no carpet python pairings except for the hypo, and then I'm doing the water python. I think I have the gold white lips, black white lips. I don't know about the Timor pythons. They're still on the fence. But then we're going to do... I might even skip the olive pythons just because I still have babies kicking around from right now, and it's not... I'd rather just wait and spare my time. And then Ryan has my ring python. So there's that. Duns need another year. And Maclots need another couple years. But
so an easy season next year.
Hopefully, easy season. Obviously, we'll do all the Colubrid stuff just because you can wholesale those things and fill the freezer. But right now, dude, it's like 6.
I think I have 5 pairings that I want to nail.
Okay,
diamond pythons.
Yeah.
Inland carpets.
Yes.
Russians.
Yep.
Russian reds, tigers. There are actually 2 clutches of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's the other one? Oh, the red and the Molly.
And then poison ivy stuff.
Poison ivy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that I know I'm missing. There's another
something.
Oh, citrus tiger. So it's like 6 clutches. So, oh man, and then there's some cool IJs I got. See,
you and I are going to do this again. You and I are just going to do this again. But I'm sitting here and I'm setting up the whole thing. I'm like, this is a lot of freaking babies. So I'm like, well, it's August, and take your time, get them going, get them ready, and then you can put the adults down for winter. But then we're not pairing anything, so just feed everybody, and we'll do okay. And it's like, I don't feel like I'm in a rush to try to get everything out the door, because this is my stock for this year and next year. Yeah, like I'm not.
It's
I'm not
a good
really
spot to be
it.
in, right? Because if you stay the course with this,
right,
and you sort of stay a year ahead, so that when you're going to a show, I'm bringing
last year's kids.
Yeah, you're bringing almost a year old. You know, especially with carpet pythons, man, you're going to have a huge advantage over people. I didn't see a whole lot of carpet pythons down in Daytona.
Well, and it's also one of those things where the price of the animal, like, it eventually will meet it. Like, nobody wants to spend this much for this right now, but give it a couple more months and color starts coming in, and then maybe somebody will dive on it.
Yeah, but is there anything in carpet pythons anymore that's big bucks? I mean, I know you got some of the combo morphs and stuff like that.
I mean, I think what it kind of comes down to it is like there's no real insane brand new morph coming down the pike that's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. Right. What we're getting now is quality. I want this from you because it looks like this. I want this as a pet because it looks like this. I want this animal because it plugs in with these animals that I have. They're not kicking down the door being like, I don't give a shit what the zebra looks like. Just give me a zebra for $30,000.
Right. Yeah, it's almost like I don't know. I don't know where is that good? I mean, what's the average? Is jungle still about $500 for $500 to $700 for a decent one?
I mean, I have two right now that are $500 each, and they were the ugly ones in the clutch, and I keep looking at them going like, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's not even like there's ugly ones anymore.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, whatever. But and I think that's probably because I still have my head on from, when I was in college, where it was like, look at this. It's slightly yellow. Like, oh my God, it's not just a brown. So, I don't know. So I think 500 for a really good looking black and yellow jungle is not horrible. And then your ugly ducklings in the clutch eventually get to the point where people are like, $500 for an animal that's that big, that looks like that, done. And they take it. Like, it might just take a little bit longer. But, the weird thing is that, like, I just hatched out baby bredli. So what do you think is going to happen to the bredli that I had from last year that are still here?
What's going to happen to them? They're going to look amazing when they're going to go up in price.
Exactly. Price goes up. So, like, people are like, people were asking me if I would drop the price of my older Mad Hogs because I hatched out new Mad Hogs. And I said, no. The new Mad Hogs now go at the price that the old ones were, and the older ones now become more expensive because this is how the world works. So,
yeah, I mean, people got to understand you've invested a year of time into that baby of food, and it's. I mean,
and they aren't the easiest fuckers to get going. Like, it's
right.
Yeah,
it's and then you've maintained that animal for that length of time. That's got to be worth something, because especially if you're a new keeper and you're coming in and you're buying something, if you get an animal too young and you don't know what you're doing, that could end, that could end badly.
I wish I could just visibly, shake young Owen, where it's like, stop buying adult wild caught shit. Like, go and get the babies and raise it up right. Because, yes, of course, it takes a couple years, but if you keep buying and killing all these other things, by the time you get to your head on right, it's like, well, it's been 6 years. You could have raised up a pair of babies. So
that was a question. So one of the things that I said that we were going to talk, that's a good segue into the question that I'm going to ask.
This is why you pay me the big bucks.
That's right. So on Colubrid and Coulbroid Radio, they were the guys. So Matt is back. Matt Most is back. And he was on the last episode, and the guys sort of had each one of them had a question, and they sort of were going around the question. And I think Matt, out of the gate, because he hasn't been on the show for a while, has sort of talked about how going into having as many animals. It was so relatable to me. It's just like you what was, say, a part-time gig or a part-time hobby to where maybe you made extra stuff, then becomes a full-time job.
Yeah.
So you got to cut at some point. You got to cut back on certain things, or you got to go away. But one of the questions they asked later on was, if you could go back and change something you did, or what would you do differently? Would you have the same animals? Would you have went the same direction? Would you have maybe grown into it a little slower? Would you have, to your point, not have done as many wild caught stuff and not have the experience, or know what you're getting, or et cetera? What would you do differently?
Well, the whole thing is that getting the wild caught stuff, like you said, it builds the experience, and it's almost like, am I as good as I am with wild caught stuff because of that? Of course. Did I burn a shit ton of money killing a bunch of wild caught? Yes, of course. Like, it's I almost feel like what I would have done is you kind of fall into what everybody else says about a certain animal, and then it takes you a while to jump on it yourself and come to your own conclusions. So I never did diamonds because I was always told they were hard and this and all other stuff. And then I tried it and it didn't end well. And then it's like, well, a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more this. It's like, okay, this is what I should have done. So it's almost like if I had all the knowledge in my head right now and just start back over, I do diamonds. I do a lot of diamonds, and it would start with diamonds because of what you can do and how you can build it. And now, like, do diamonds still hold price? Like, it's ridiculous right now. Yeah. Like, and you don't need to worry about morphs. It's just diamonds.
Beautiful on their own. Man.
Yeah, exactly. So I would do those. I would still probably end up dipping my toe into all the insane Python stuff that I've been doing. But there's a couple things I would probably leave by the wayside just because it never worked out. But I tried to force that peg into that hole. Like I chondros. I got nothing for them. It's nope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How you feel about chondros?
Yeah. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. But that kind of stuff.
I think what I would have done is I think what I would have done differently is I would have focused on a specific project, got the animals for that project, took it to completion, and then sold the offspring that I didn't want, keep the ones back that I would. And then I would take that money and reinvest in another project.
Right.
Rather than like what I did was I sort of had to have everything now. Because there was like this, I think that narrative of, well, you got to remember when I was really getting back into it hot and heavy, we had all that legislation. Not that will come back again, but that was really like worrying me that you wouldn't be able to get that stuff. Like, it's not that you couldn't sell it within your state, but the whole crossing state lines. Remember when they had all the pythons that were going to be on that and you couldn't cross the state lines? And I'm like, oh, shit. I need to get this stuff now or I'll never be able to get it.
Or it'll never be in the state, yeah.
And how did that work out?
It's gone now. I mean, it's gone now, but they're trying to put it back. Yeah, I mean, that's like it. Yeah, so far it's on pause. But I agree with that. I mean, I always like that idea of taking a project, of having a project that's your core bread and butter. Yeah. And then seeing where that project goes because it's kind of is ever changing. So I got my original caramels and I'm like, I'm going to make a caramel tiger. And then I did that. But then I kind of got hooked into super caramels and caramel jags and super caramel jags.
Yeah.
And doing all that stuff. And I'm at this point now where I have several super caramels, 3. Yeah. And then I have 1 super caramel jag. And it's like, well, where else can I take that project? How else can I do? Like, it's like, how do I improve upon this? And it's like, well, I don't know, but would be cool. Let's make it striped. So now it's like we're backpedaling to caramel tiger. I want to make caramel tigers. I want to make super caramel tigers. And I want to go the long way around the barn and take my best super caramel jaguar and breed it to my best super caramel tiger.
Yeah.
So that's the end run.
Right.
And we're getting closer.
And then at that point, when you get to that point, do you continue to? I guess it's hard to say because you got to wait and see what happens. Like you may get something and you're like, oh wow, that look is crazy. Let me see if I can make more of them like that.
And
or
then there's other parts of it where it's like that was cool. And then I also have caramel exanic stuff that's kind of toying around in the background. And then I will soon have hypoexanic stuff in the background. And it's like, well, now that this project is here, do I kind of set that on the shelf and bring one of these other ones forward?
Yeah.
Because they're part of it, but they're kind of off to the side.
And then what happens when you say you get to the end of that? Do you say you're now consistently it's kind of like where jungles are, right? You said this earlier. It's like to me, jungles are sort of all kind of look the same. I know there's little subtle differences and stuff, and different colors of yellow, but just say for general speaking, yellow and black has been refined.
It's not going to get more yellow. It's like,
you know what I mean?
Yellow.
Like, you're not going to get more yellow or more black.
Make the yellow yellower. How? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you could, I know, Riley, he's working on a stripe thing. Some people are working on more of a banded thing, but really at that point, and even once you get it striped, like if you get a perfectly striped jungle that you can reproduce, we can reproduce tigers at this point. And they're neon yellow and jet black. I mean, I guess my question is, do you continue just to produce those at that point? Or do you move on from that project? Or do you hold it on the shelf and have it and then sort of breed it every once in a while?
I think you breed it every once in a while because there should always be some kind of, I imagine people will want that. Yeah. But you are also competing with your own offspring that are out there right now. So, but the second you stop keeping all the really good shit for yourself and letting it go, it's like, all right, well, then it cat's out of the bag. So I think you hold on to it and you kind of reproduce it, but then maybe that's when you start getting a little kind of freaky with stuff. Maybe you take that striped male and you throw it to a zebra. Who knows what that's going to do? Like a really nice, consistent, broad, black-backed thing. Like, who knows?
To me, that's where the morphs could be fun, right? Yeah. It's sort of like you're bringing in a morph. You're not going crazy with crazy combinations of genes or whatnot. You're just sort of saying like, okay, I got this. I think that's one thing that a lot of people, we've said this forever, but like a lot of people never, like if you're getting a morph, you get the best morph representation that you can get. If you're getting a zebra, you get the yellow and blackest zebra and craziest pattern and all this stuff. And, you go and you put it to just a normal jungle thinking that you're going to get, you know what I mean? But if you look at what Curtin's doing, right?
Right.
Like you and Curtin, didn't you do a breeding loan where you put I'm
an idiot. Yeah. So that pairing, we had 4 zebras, 2 boys, 2 girls. So we each took a pair of zebras, and I sold the male zebra.
Yes.
And I kept the female because the female's, she's disgustingly beautiful. She's gorgeous. I love her. But now I'm sitting here, and I think I was talking to you when it dawned on me because I'm like, dude, that ultraviolet jungle jag you sent me, she's awesome. She needs maybe another year or 2, and I really want to pair her to a really nice zebra that I fucking had here, and I sold it. Like it was like one of those where everything started clicking, where I had the male that would have been great for her, but I sold it. So now it's like, I guess I'm just going to pair her to a normal jungle. So, yeah.
Right. Damn it.
Pissed goddamn idiot. Yeah, so that project's over there now. But those are the things where it's like you should be trying to get the best thing for the project. If it's a project that's important to you, I want to breed this jungle jag to a very good-looking jungle male as a base. Right. Like, that is if there's nothing else that I could get for her, it would be a really good-looking jungle male. Right. I would like to give her to a zebra because I would like to see how disgustingly yellow you can make the zebra jags.
Right. Yeah, like that's a good point. Like zebra jags, that is a perfect example of my point. Right? Like not nobody, because I'm trying to think. There's probably somebody.
Some people out there.
Maybe Psychotic Exotics, when they were around, they were doing it. I'm sure Paul has probably done this, but yet I've never seen like crazy offspring from him. But I'm sure he has it because why would he not?
Right.
But there's not a lot of people that are really working that project set. Let's say
we have a lot of really good looking lines of jungles, and people are producing some really good looking zebras out there. But nobody seems to want to push a zebra jag to be on the same level as some of the jungle jags that are out there being produced.
I think it's the new people coming into the hobby that are probably not so fond of the jag.
I mean, I will admit that out of the 5 zebra jags I hatched this year, 1 is not okay. So right. Yeah. But the other ones are.
I think that the newer group of I wonder if that has to do with the fact that we've already sort of went through the growing pains of that. Like, meaning that in the early days when the Jag was out, you know, it was sort of like, you remember, there's just debate about whether it was legit or, you know, this one doesn't wobble, da-da-da-da-da. And then it finally seemed to settle that, yes, they all have the issues and this and that. And then Australia started breeding.
Yeah.
Well, then Australia started breeding Jags, or the reduced pattern coastals, or whatever they call them.
It's a Jag. Yeah.
And then they had the similar questions, because they were sort of like, say, you know,
5 or
10 years behind us or whatever, you know. And I think a lot of the, at least this is my perception of it, like a lot of the old school keepers in Australia were very anti-Jag. Like, they didn't like that idea at all. They were just about localities of, you know what I mean? You would have Palmerston jungles, gelatin jungles, and like all the different localities of jungle carpets, Tullies, and, you know, legit.
Right.
Not like our
not our things. Yeah.
Yeah, like legit locality stuff, which would, oh man, I would be in heaven. But so then they sort of revised that again, if you will, right? Because it started to be talked about, even though it was sort of beat to death from us on the forum days. And then it just seems like maybe they're taking that advice and saying, okay, you know, maybe Jag's not it for me, because.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you straight up, any Jag that I list, the first question they ask is does it wobble?
Yeah.
So do they know necessarily, or is that just a question they feel they have to ask for every Jaguar?
Maybe they're phrasing that, saying it wrong, and they're asking in the terms of like what's the extent of the wobble?
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
Because you hear a lot of people, and I've even had this myself. I've had plenty of Jags that appeared normal.
Don't show any expression. Yeah,
no wobble, no flipped upside down, none of that stuff.
Right.
But as soon as you stress them out, it's usually done after they bred.
Right.
That was it. It was game over.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, they were jacked.
Any kind of stress, or even babies, the first time you go to feed them, they get all excited and they kind of do this. But then there are some that, like, I told you about that one zebra Jag that I went to go put her in a display to take her to a show, and she corkscrewed and bent back, and that's how I figured out she had a kink in her spine. It's because she bent back so far. I'm like, she killed herself. And then, oh no, she just folds like a hinge. Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm giving her away to somebody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say she was Crebo food or something.
My Crebos don't eat snakes. It's weird.
No.
Really? Yeah, they're weird.
Interesting.
I hate them.
Yeah. So the other topic that they sort of hit on, which I thought was interesting, right? So Zach was sort of talking about how sort of like how herpetoculture is sort of looked at from, say, the academic standpoint, or the people like that are pushing the lulls, let's say, if you will, you know, or like the people that are writing the lulls from the you know, Fish and Wildlife or things like that. Interestingly enough, like the Burmese python thing came up, and I didn't know this, but there's a certain I thought he said it was a worm, some sort of parasite that the Burmese python has been able to, you know, they're not immune to it. I don't know what's the word.
Did you withstand it, or?
Yeah, like they have it and it doesn't seem to bother them. However, a lot of the Florida reptiles or snakes, not so much. And I never knew that. And like, you know, the other thing that I've been guilty of saying this too, and I don't do this with other stuff, but the whole thing of like, if they say, oh, Burmese pythons are messing up the Everglades, it seems like the go-to answer is, well, what about cats? they mess up the Everglades too. Yeah, they both fucking mess up the Everglades.
My
you know
favorite.
What I mean? It's like, no kidding.
Correct. Like my favorite thing was the one is somebody had a Burmese python. He's like, just caught this guy, going to neuter him and release him, and had to put him right back into the ecosystem. He won't do much more harm after that. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it. I get what you're saying. I don't believe that we should like catch feral cats, neuter them, and let them go. Like, I think if you're an animal and you don't belong here, you should be treated like an invasive animal. And
I guess, yeah, my takeaway from that discussion that they had from Zach being sort of having his foot in both camps, so to speak, is that it just showed me that I don't know the whole story of the Burmese python. Just by him saying that little thing tells me that I'm not doing enough research to really even have an opinion on the top. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can have an opinion on the surface of what I think about it or whatever, but I think it always becomes a defense. I call it whataboutism. It's like, yeah, but what about, you know, it's whataboutism.
And that can,
like, that's bad, but what about this?
But what you're saying can suck too. Like they can all be bad.
Yes.
What about
you
cats?
Can have
they
mutual
suck
level of
too.
Suckiness.
Yeah. Fuck them too. It's like I think any invasive animal that is now harming a native species or causing death to a native species should be wiped out. They don't belong there. And destroying this invasive population is not going to affect this animal's on its native range. So it's like, but the cane toad, who gives a shit about the cane toad? They're fine where they're from. Here, not good. Burmese python, they're fine where they're from. Nobody should harm a Burmese python, but they shouldn't be here. Yeah. Feral, grown, like just groups of roaming feral cats. The one thing I absolutely hate is that's a feral cat colony that we're monitoring. So you know where they are. Like it's like, and what?
So you know what they're killing.
You've captured them, and you gave them medical attention, and then put them back. Like I don't.
It makes no sense, right?
Yeah, like I'm sure the birds are so happy you did that.
Right. Yeah, and I guess like you know, when it comes, and that's not even real. So we did take a little bit of a turn because that's not exactly what I even wanted to get into. But it's fine because this is sort of what led to my thought when Zach was saying that. But it's like I don't even know if you can eradicate it at this point, but you can manage it, right? I don't know if
well, the problem with Florida is like. If it's not Burmese pythons, it's lionfish. Like they have a shit ton of I'm like they have open season on multiple creatures, and they can't seem to wipe them out.
Yeah.
And give it a couple years, it's just going to be Burmese python, lionfish, and a monkey down there in Florida, and that's it.
I think the other thing too is like, you know, I saw again. I don't really have a skin in this game either, but. Darren from Morph Market sort of made this post about having an educational booth for the Fish and Wildlife, or giving them a class for the Fish and Wildlife booth that was at Daytona show.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know. It just makes us look like children, man. I just feel like that just makes us look so immature. Like, yes, I agree that the guy should know that's in Fish and Wildlife. I agree that he should maybe know what species he's going
what animals
to.
He's regulating.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that. I understand.
And also,
that, right?
If you're going to go do something like put down a massive building full of python, you should know the shit. Like, just brush up on it. Yes. Do some Google searches.
I'm 100% on board with that, and I'm not defending that at all. But, like, to me, sometimes when you have the higher ground.
Right.
Just stay on the fucking higher ground.
We cannot help ourselves. We cannot help ourselves.
Shut your fucking mouth. You now have the advantage because that person did it wrong. But then you say some stupidest, childish fucking post. And the whole idea of you making this post is just so you can get more likes and more visibility on Morph Market and all
take
this
the
stuff.
dig.
You're playing the algorithm, and you know this is going to get people worked up, and you know I just don't agree with that approach. I know that that's the approach that everybody takes, but I find it a little bit hypocritical. And maybe this is on a different level, but like when somebody like himself or the people that, go and say agree with some of the things that he's doing or how he's doing it because he's pushing sales and he's pushing this, it's no different than him talking about people holding venomous snakes, in my opinion, to get likes or views.
Right.
There's nothing different about it. You're pushing something to get a reaction out of people so that you get more engagement, so that you want to sort of manipulate people's emotions because you know that you're going to manipulate people's emotions, which is exactly why people use the excuse of like, oh, I'm free handling this cobra because I won't get any views if I don't free handle the cobra.
Because I trust this animal, and this animal trusts me, bites him. They're like, no.
And then we'll go and we'll say something like, oh, well, this is just it looks bad for the hobby. Yes, it does.
Yes.
I agree. It makes us look immature. But then you go and make some stupid post.
This
like
also looks bad. Like
about
we just talked about. It's like, what about
making the rules?
Those are also bad. It's like,
What the fuck?
Yes, the free handlers are bad. Pissing off throwing rocks at fish and wildlife because they messed up is also bad. Is
it like nobody can keep, like nobody knows when to like hold it anymore? Like
no.
It's like verbal diarrhea is all the time. You can't control it.
Always fire from the hip.
It's like, I could make this post, or I could not make this post. I'm going to make the post. Damn it! Why did I make that post?
offering to educate Fish and Game is something that needs to be presented by, say, somebody like the St. Augustine Alligator Farm, or like Gatorland or Iguanaland, where they have the officers come and then we're going to show you all the different things and all the different stuff and what you might encounter and what might be a difference. But that's something that needs to happen that way, and needs to be something more of a good faith gesture, not a you messed up. Like,
it's like a childish thing, man.
That thing sucked. Why are you trying to make light of that? Like, it's almost like there are some people on Facebook that, like, every time Florida Fish and Game posted something, they were like, "You murdered pythons." It's like, all right, yeah, okay, but like, you're also free handling your venomous. Like, shut up. It's
Another point that Clint brought up. Sorry, I had to bring him in. So that Clint brought up was that he has a pet shop. Okay. And one of the things that he wants to have is like I think he was talking about a copperhead, that he wanted a copperhead so that when people came into the shop, he had sort of what native copperhead would look like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's like, I like that because it's what Bob Ashley had at his place. It's like all the animals that were out on display was a lot of the stuff 100%. That you might see in Arizona, which, we stop at Bob Ashley's place because it's Bob Ashley's place and we like the snakes and all that other stuff. But like, other people stop there that are just kind of hiking around and they want a good place to kind of kill some time or, a cool gift shop. So it's like, having that way to kind of educate people about reptiles and also show them what this is, some of the stuff that you might see out there, right, is awesome. Yeah.
And
love it.
He was sort of asking, so I guess he has a relationship with the Fish and Wildlife in his area, right? And so he was sort of asking her, like telling her that, like, look, I'm going to do this in the future. Is this a problem? Is this okay? And he said that she sort of said, well, yeah, right now it's okay, but I actually want to meet with you later on because we're trying to make legislation for these type of things, right? And I need to work with you to make sure that we sort of don't, that we come to a mutual understanding of like who should have these and who shouldn't, right? Right. And I was like, okay, what an awesome way to sort of work with your local Fish and Wildlife, to be sort of not like against each other,
proactive,
sort of like working with each other, and like putting in your expertise of whatever that field would be, whether it be venomous, whether it be big constrictors, whether it be crocodilians, whether it be big lizards or monitors, or all the stuff that's sort of like on the iffy side of the chopping block. But to be in that spot where you can sort of say, well, if you're going to put a restriction on stuff, maybe you should put it on, say like the big five of the constrictors that they have to have a permit. But like you shouldn't ban ball pythons because they're, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there's sort of a back and forth.
Yeah. Don't come for boa constrictor when, but should anybody be able to have I am, and I think I've said this before, I am 100% fine and supportive of a permit system and a licensing system, very much like they have in Australia. I would love for anybody who is passionate enough and skilled enough, like the Ipers, to have a full setup venomous room to do all the things. But I think that you should have to do all the things that they have to do, and have to, like, you basically, if you want a basement full of venomous, more power to you, but it better be a locked kind of venomous laboratory double door inspected, and if one gets out, you're gone, you're done, one strike out, like that kind of stuff.
I want to say, from talking with Phil Wolf, I think he is pretty like, he has conversations with Fish and Wildlife about these kind of things as well. So I think I don't know, that just seems like the more mature approach than like, oh, we should teach you what kind of snake it is. Like, come on, man.
But it's like, so you're
better than that.
It's basically like, do you want to have the conversation with the cop, or you want to throw a donut at him? It's like, because when it all comes down to it, who do you want him to be like, I remember you, we had a great conversation in the room, be like, oh, it's you.
You're the asshole.
Oh, you're that guy. Like, like, don't do it. Like, there's ways to do this.
So that was part of the sort of rant, right? But the real thing that sort of stuck out to me is like something that Matt had hit on, and he was talking about viruses and how people don't want to talk about those things and everything. Mm-hmm. And I know it's sort of a taboo thing to talk about, like, I mean, and that kind of sucks about the reptile hobby.
It is.
I think, like, why are we so? Probably because we know how some of us are, and it's like, I think we have this mentality sometimes in the reptile hobby that in order for us to be put up, we have to put somebody down. And I've been guilty of this in myself in the past. It's like, oh, ball pythons suck. Carpet pythons are the best. It's like, no.
It's a snake.
Ball pythons can be good, and they're cool.
Yeah.
And so can carpet pythons.
So can carpet pythons.
You know what I mean? Like, they can mutually
snakes are fun. Yeah, it's good.
Like, why do you have to shit on somebody else in order to? Why is that need in society? That's like, in order to make my thing better, like, it can't stand on its own.
Yeah,
I have to shit on somebody else. I think that's part of the reason why people don't talk about that kind of thing, or viruses.
I would agree. I think the other part of it is that, I mean, there was a very large witch hunt when everything did come out for
Nido and all that
Nido
stuff, right?
And other things like that. It was the, who's got it, who's got the issues, who gave it to whose animals are going to die now.
People don't talk about it.
Right. So the problem is that it very quickly became, if you have Nido positive animals, you were like almost like a pariah. You're persona non grata. Your animals were bad. Everything you've ever sold now clearly has to be a problem, and no one's ever going to buy from you again, and your entire collection is bad. And I can understand that while everything is going wrong in your collection and animals are dying, some very quickly, because we've heard that, like, the onset of Nido, like, they show symptoms and within 24 hours they're gone. I mean, can you imagine that burning through your collection, and then on the other hand, you're trying to make sure nobody else finds out about it because you're worried about how you're going to be treated.
Yeah, and I have to give kudos to Mike Curtin, right? Because Mike Curtin, I think, handled it. Besides, Corey and Pia, right? I said Corey, Cody and Pia, but like he sort of just said, "Okay, I tested the animals. I came out with this. Yeah. This is what I got, and this is how I'm going to manage it, and this is where I'm going to approach it, and this is what I'm going to go doing forward." And he put it out there, and he was honest. And I got to be honest, I never once thought like, "Oh, I'm never getting an animal from Mike Curtin again." Yeah, and I think the fact that people aren't honest about it is what creates the problem, and then leads to people being less honest about their thing, because they saw this person not being honest about it, and then it's put out into the open, and then all of a sudden now you're on the defense rather than putting it out there, and you control the narrative, so to speak, of how it's going to be, right? And then I'm sure people are going to talk shit, and they're going to, oh, he knew it all the time, or she did this and she sold that one, or he did that, blah 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 blah. And I just wonder if we were just a little more straight about it. It's kind of like how I feel about the like, not to bring up COVID into this, but like, when you have the government saying things like, well, we don't think that they can handle that, so we're not going to tell them that. And then they wonder why people don't trust them. It's like, could you fucking lie to them? So like
sins of omission. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's like, oh, well, we didn't think they could handle that. And I think that's sort of the idea when it comes to that. Like, oh, if I tell people that I have this, I don't, to your point, right? Oh, I'm never going to be able to sell snakes again. Yeah. They're going to look at me different, like blah, blah, blah. So, but even beside all that, my question is, because of the Burmese thing and the native North American snakes that are in Florida,
right,
and how one is susceptible to this virus or this pathogen, or whatever it was,
or something, right? Parasite, yeah.
When you have a mixed collection, like that, is that something that you worry about? Could that be something that's happening? Like if you say you have mostly pythons, and then you start adding in colubrids, and then all of a sudden you notice that something happens either to your python group or to your colubrid group, and we sort of chalk it up to, is that even a thing? Do people worry about that? I don't know. With you having a collection like that, and having a wife that's a vet, basically.
So the thing is that when you break it down, though, I mean that you can keep splitting, where it's like, I don't think you need to even go that far. It's like you can have different virus strains that develop on different islands. So, sure. I have Australian species and I have Indo species. There could be something that the Indo species carry that could fuck up the Australian species, or vice versa. And then, I mean, if we sit here, it's like, okay, we have the carpet pythons, Australia. We have the Indo species, which is the Timors, the olives, the ring, the duns, the retic. Okay. Then we have an African species, which is the Angolan. And then we have South American, Brazilian rainbow boas. We have Argentine boas. We have false water cobra. Then we have you have American species. I have every single fucking continent at this point. It's then we have Chinese Asian rat snakes and things like that. It's like, yeah, that's something you worry about, but I'm not running a pine snake through a carpet python cage. So there's that thing. And then a lot of these animals are so far removed from their wild caught ancestors. Is it necessarily that a thing? I mean, is it necessarily even a thing?
Possibly not.
Right, because it's like, what world have they grown up in? They've grown up in the United States. Like, half these things were born and raised in Pennsylvania.
I just think of like, so I guess here would be, because I personally wouldn't have thought about it in that way. Like, I would still have quarantine animals and stuff like that. Right. But I wouldn't be thinking of it in that mindset, because that really wasn't known to me. Like I never thought about that until Zach said that, and I was like, oh shit, wait. Now it starts to trigger something, questions in my head, like, oh, if I ever added colubrids into my collection, would this have to be something that would I have to, is there certain, well, shit, to your point, right? Just green trees and carpets. Like the Nido, they were saying that was like between the two. It's like you could have carpets and have Nido and not have any issues.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you introduce chondros into that mix.
And they're
and it kills the
off the perch.
Correct. Or it kills the carpets.
Right.
One or the other, because they're just not.
I almost feel like the further you move away, it's like the less you have to worry about it. Am I concerned about an olive python being able to affect a pine snake? Probably not, because they're so far removed. We're talking like python versus colubrid and stuff like that. I'd be more concerned about, say in some magical world, Australia opens and we get a wild caught coastal carpet python. I'd be more worried about that fucking thing straight out of the bush coming into my collection here, where, like I said, most of the animals were born in the United States, if not in Pennsylvania, and have never seen the wild before. And that means that everything that animal brings in can and will affect any Morelia I have.
But don't you think that it's a lot easier for us to get wild-caught North American snakes?
Yes.
That could be in somebody. So even if you're not the one that collects it, right? You have somebody that goes out and collects, I don't know, corn snakes, let's say. This locality of corn snakes. And you're bringing in that whatever. If you're bringing that into your collection, you're now. And maybe it doesn't affect the Colubrid breeder, because Justin's probably punching a wall right now. Like, this guy's talking about.
I think it would be. But you
more. Know what I'm saying? Like, if you bring that,
I understand what you're saying, but I think it would be more. So, like, if I say I got into Alterna and I went and I got my own Alterna and I brought them here, I think a wild caught would affect any captive Alterna that I have here. Anything that it might bring in would affect those immediately. But then, could it jump from the Alterna to my other colubrids? I think it is more likely to do that than it is to affect the pythons and other things that I have going on here, because I think it's just one jump too far to go from colubrid to python and boa. But that's with viruses and other things like that. Now, let's say that they have some sort of parasite, like a worm or something like that.
Maybe it was a parasite that he's talking about. Yeah.
A parasite,
and I think it was.
A parasite, on the other hand, could burn through my entire collection, because it doesn't give a shit. It's a snake. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yes, it's not like, you're a Burmese python.
I could get worms from my snake. Like, it is like, okay. So that is what I would be more concerned about. If it was a python, I would be concerned about transfer of, viruses and things like that.
Right.
Bacteria is also something else,
Right. So like a virus, it's sort of like if deer have a virus, it's not necessarily that human beings are going to get the virus. So it's not going to jump from. They can. It's possible.
They can.
Right?
It's possible.
But maybe that's not but if it's a parasite, right?
That is something.
Like the Lyme disease that the tick is biting the deer.
That is something. Yeah.
Whoa, that's too close to home.
It all depends how bad.
Dude.
Yeah.
I have poison sumac.
Dang, dude.
You too?
Here, all on my side. Yeah.
All here. And then I got chiggers, which are those little bugs that bury into your skin.
What the hell is that? No. That is not a real thing. No.
Yeah.
No. What? No.
They're little dots all over with like mosquito bites.
No.
So
Really?
Justin was looking it up because I didn't know what they were. I thought they were bites, but the babies burrow into your skin and then they die because they can't. And then they die and then go away. So it's not like you have to worry about them being in your skin. But there's
wait.
Your skin.
Wait.
Herping on the East Coast.
Wait. So I'm never going herping again. So wait. If you just kind of like have hives and stuff like that, it looks like you kind of broke out a little bit. Could that be the triggers?
Oh yes. Yep.
No.
I promise you have them too.
No. I'm going to go home. No. No.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, no.
I would have rather had the ticks, man.
Yeah, I know.
Because I could pick them off.
I'm ready to peel all this off my arm with this
but it's
knife.
Torture, man.
Like it is.
It is straight torture. So I was talking to me and Justin were swimming the day before we left, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking to my neighbor, and she said that you have to scratch the shit out of them to open them up and then pour alcohol on it and it will kill them. And I was like, well, that sounds pleasant.
Yeah, no, that's what do you think I'm going to do? Yeah, Melissa's going to be so pissed at me after I wreck up my body and then be like, pour alcohol on me. Like, it is, no. I'm gonna get the cheese grater and I'm gonna fix this later.
So,
God.
Any
Never
debate
herping
about
in the
East Coast versus West Coast?
Fuck it. No, I'm going West Coast now for the rest of my goddamn life.
Here's the mistake I made. Every herping trip I've done, I always wear long sleeve shirts. I always wear pants. Always. Every single time. Right?
Yeah.
Except I think in Australia I wore shorts once, but we were in the desert, so it didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
The Northern Territory. So to me, it was like,
I've always worn shorts.
I always wear pants because
I always thought I'd just get too hot.
I don't really get, if you get the right pants, if you get like, it's like a breathable fabric, almost like, so I know Rob makes fun of me because of my Eric Herping uniform. I will never, ever wear short sleeve shirts again.
No!
Especially herping on the East Coast.
Oh my God.
Happen.
No, you have no idea how freaked out I am right now. I'm going to rip. Oh.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
It's crazy. Yeah, all these little dots all over.
Oh my God. No.
All over my stomach. It's all over my back. Yes.
Shit.
Yep. I would have rather take the ticks. And I did have a tick that was hanging like right in the middle of my back, and he was on there for like a week. So hopefully I don't have Lyme disease.
Oh, great.
Every day I'm like, do you see a bullet, Dory? You see a bullseye? She's like,
well,
no,
I
you're
got
still
that.
good.
I had that weird. What was it last week when you and I were talking about recording, and we ended up skipping a day, and it was good because I had a fever of like 102, and it spiked. It spiked one day and was gone, and I'm like, that's not good. Like that never. That never is good. That never is when your body's like, holy shit. All right, now you're fine. Like, wait, so you're reacting to something.
Something happened.
I'm like,
maybe that's it.
I'm like, maybe I got Lyme disease. And Melissa's like, you should take a test. I'm like, I don't want to know. Like, I don't want to. Yeah. Can we just say maybe and move on with our lives? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even really know what happens when you get Lyme disease. I think you get tired, right? Doesn't it?
You get tired. Your bones get kind of achy. You can have flare-ups that kind of knock you sideways. Of course, I didn't know that I was going to be carving up my arm to get all out of these chiggers out, but that's going to happen later. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, well, be careful, man.
Nah, it'll be fine.
So the one thing that feels really good is a hot shower, right?
Yes.
It's like you're getting scratched all over. You're
burn it off.
I get out and I look like a lobster. Dory says for the poison sumac, that's the worst thing you can do because what happens is your pores open up.
Yeah, and
then you leak into. Yeah, you just spread it all over.
Spread it more. Yeah.
So I like wrap my arm up where I have the poison sumac, and I just douse myself in a hot shower. It was helping a lot with the chlorine. That's been helping.
Let's say the one time I had poison sumac, we went down to the hot spring, the springs down in Florida, and she and I went swimming. And it's Melissa and I, it was like the brackish kind of water that you kind of get out there. So that helped a ton. Salt water just killed it. Yeah, it would just burned it. I'm like, okay.
I think it's like you got to dry your skin out, basically, is what it is, right? So it's, but I don't know, man. I think Justin and Dustin were right.
Herping in the West. Herping in the West. Yeah. This is horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Dear God.
Oh man. So Rob thought the ticks were bad.
Well, the ticks just love him. That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
Ugh. And Mike wanted us to come down and herp in your Labor Day, and now I'm like, great, cool. I'll just burn all these off just so I can get more later.
Well, I think I did notice. So I was watching a couple herping videos in Pennsylvania because I'm sort of like, okay, if I'm gonna tick off this this list of herping all the species in PA.
Might as well do it, yeah.
I might as well do it. So I made a list of everything, and I think I'm maybe a quarter of the way there.
Right.
But I was watching some of the guys that herp PA, and a lot of them wear gloves. And I was thinking at first, I'm like, oh, that's kind of stupid. And then I'm thinking, I don't ever want to go through this again.
Yeah, no.
So if I'm herping PA or New Jersey, I'm wearing gloves.
I need to get a long sleeve, lightweight shirt and some long pants.
That's why I got those ones I got.
I know what my wife's getting me for Christmas.
Yeah. But they're breathable. God. Those shirts are breathable. I prefer them because then I don't have to worry about suntan lotion or anything like that, or burning or all those things.
My delicate skin, yeah.
And you think about it, we're like just pushing through and like a lot of like,
dude,
brushing on trees. And
did you get hit by those nettles when we were herping with Robert? Yeah, that sucked. All right, like I don't ever want to do that again.
Yes. That spot was cool, but
I fucking hate plants. Like, find me. What the fuck good is a plant?
Yeah. Well, especially the ones that sting you, poison you.
I was watching clips of like Ron Swanson. I was like, excuse me, you made a mistake. You brought me what my food eats. Yeah. Salad is the beginning course, sir.
I was watching the episode. I was rewatching that whole series, and we watched the one where he, I can't remember his name, but Rob Lowe's character.
Yeah,
he's like the real healthy guy, whatever. Yeah. And he goes to like Ron Swanson's wanting to go to this restaurant that serves steaks, and he's got like the book where he's taking a picture every year of him eating the steaks. He's like, oh, this was 1982. I had a nice T-bone. He's like flipping through the picture book, and then he gets there and it's closed. And he's like crying. He's like, what did they do with all the steaks?
Do you think they're okay? Yeah. It was.
And then he goes to Rob Lowe's place.
All right.
And he
makes
him a burger.
Portobello.
But it's a fucking mushroom. And he's
Portobello
like, what?
mushroom. Yeah. That was the one great. That ends with bring me all the bacon and eggs you have.
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
He's like, this is a steak?
Yeah.
He's like, this is not a steak. All right, bring me all
the bacon and eggs you have.
Did you hear me correctly? I said all.
All.
Let me say it one more time. Oh, that was great.
Oh, Matt sent us this thing in our little chat that some dude was finding invasive reticulated pythons in Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. I saw somebody else talking about that before.
They found albinos. Yeah, those are albinos. These are escaped.
They're not pets.
No, these all just they must have come over. Albinos? Yes. Albinos. Albino tigers?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Wow. We suck.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's
that is.
Well, it was like it's like what happened up here. They're like, so I think right before Carpet Fest, they found an alligator in a creek up here, and it's like, good. Oh, good job, guys. It's like there needs to be one major event or one major thing that ruins it for all of us. So the state of Ohio used to be kind of Wild West when it came to exotic animals. They had the exotic animal auctions. People owned privately a lot of different exotic animals and things like that.
Like the big mammals and too, right?
Right.
Like, it was,
like
you
tigers,
can have whatever
bears,
you want.
Exactly.
Bears, yeah. Okay.
So one point, I forget the exact year, but some guy had a bunch of stuff and he committed suicide and let the animals out. And we're talking tigers, lions, things like that. And the cops tried to secure the area, but the sun was going down and you can't have a tiger roaming in the middle of the night. So they ended up having to put all the animals down.
Right.
And because of that, there was a massive push after that to change the laws for exotic animals in Ohio. So what I'm saying is that in a lot of places like, say, Pennsylvania and other things like that, where we kind of take for granted the
freedom
freedom that we have to do with our reptiles and things like that, we are one very bad instance away from having that taken away. You know, all you need is boxes full of cobra loose in some apartment complex in Philadelphia, or, you know, somebody getting nailed by a large alligator that was released or got loose or something like that. I mean, we've had a couple people die from venomous bites or large constrictors. So it's going to be, if it's always the person that purchased the animal or had the animal, there's very rarely ever a push to make it illegal because you did that. That was your own damn fault. But once somebody who was innocent, like an innocent bystander, something happens that way, that's when it's going to start going. So,
yeah, that's so. How do you police that when it's not illegal to have a crocodilian in PA? Right?
You can't.
I can't. Immediately in my head, I think, as you were saying what you were saying, I was like, well, this is another reason why I don't go to Hamburg, right?
Right, yeah.
But in fairness to Hamburg,
right, it's legal.
They're not breaking the law.
No.
However, are they looking at the longevity of the hobby and say, to your point, right? It's going to take one of those things, and an alligator is not going to last. And I don't think it would. Well, clearly they don't, right?
Very rarely do people who purchased a baby alligator at a show get that thing to an adult size. And even if they do, I think most of the time they don't know what to do with the fucking thing. You know?
Yeah. Then it becomes, you can't sell it. You like, how do you sell that? You can't do it on Morph Market. You can't do it on, maybe you can do it on Craigslist. Maybe.
I mean, but dude,
who's going to come and buy a full-grown adult alligator?
Have you transported a bull alligator?
No.
I
can imagine it's not fun.
No.
Yeah.
It takes a couple of people, and there's a very limited amount of people that can take something like that. We're talking like you have to try to find somebody who's going to take that to be part of some sort of livestock auction that goes for exotics. Now, those do still exist. They're usually a little bit more further out west, and they definitely lean more towards exotic hoof stock. You know, a lot of big ranches and stuff in Texas want to have zebra and sable and wildebeest and shit like that on there, so you can come and you can go out and shoot yourself a zebra without having to go to Africa. And every once in a while, they do also have on those sites other stuff: ostrich, giraffe, cattle, cassowary. And I don't know if they would include alligators like that, but there seems to be the common myth of that if you get an animal and it gets big enough, that a zoo will eventually want it from you. And it's like, well, if a zoo's going to pay you money for your big alligator, number one, not a very good zoo. Number two, it's probably not a zoo at all. But like you can't walk up to the Philadelphia Zoo, knock on a door, and be like, how much are you going to pay me for my alligator that I brought with me? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, once again, it makes us look
bad.
I don't know. It just makes us look bad, man.
Yeah.
It just does, you know?
More often than not, though, it reaches a certain size where you can no longer accommodate it properly.
Yeah.
Right. And then the health starts declining, and either it dies or gets out. I mean, I don't know.
Do you know if you need a permit to keep crocodilians in Florida?
You're not allowed.
You're not allowed?
Nope.
Even alligators?
Nope.
So I guess they were either grandfathered in or they need some type of permit or something?
I think most
that do.
I think some of the people were grandfathered in, but I always thought that you weren't allowed to keep any kind of crocodilian in Florida, because the last thing they want you to do is keep alligator or crocodile and then have it get out. Because what if I kept
What if I kept Nile crocodile? I mean,
well,
what's to stop a Nile crocodile from existing in
Don't they?
Florida?
I thought they did.
I mean, who knows? They could. The American crocodiles are down there, but plus the other thing that they are concerned a lot about in Florida is West Nile. So if I have an alligator farm, there are two ways you can do alligator farm. You can either have the farm and have the mother's nest and hatch out the babies, raise them up and send them for slaughter and stuff like that your own way, or you go and you raid the nests in the Everglades, but you have to return a certain amount of the hatchlings back to the wild. But
gotcha. You
do it when they're a year old and you've tested them for like West Nile and things like that, and then you can release them. I'm not 100% sure how that would work.
I just looked it up.
Yeah.
I looked it up. So it says Class 1 animals are illegal to possess in Florida. Chimpanzees, gorillas, gibbons, drills, mandrills, orangutans, baboons, it's different type of baboons, leopards, jags. It starts with a G, gelada baboons. Leopards, jaguars, tigers, lions, bears, rhinoceros, elephants, hippopotamus, Cape buffalo, crocodiles, except dwarf and Congo.
Okay.
Black caimans and Komodo dragons and
gharials? Thank God they put the gharial. Yeah.
Okay, so then Class 2 are only allowed with a permit. Howler monkeys.
Thank God I can get a permit for my howler monkey. What the... Why would you want to listen to that?
Looks like I don't.
Yes, there he is, my howler monkey friend.
European and Canadian lynx, cougars, panthers, bobcats, cheetahs, African golden cats, minks, golden cats, fishing cats, ocelots, clouded leopards, coyotes, gray wolves, red wolves, Asiatic jackals, blackback jackals, striped jackals. Wow, I didn't know there were so many jackals.
A lot of jackals.
African hunting dogs. Ooh, they would be vicious to have.
Why? Right. You know what I really want? A pack of African hunting dogs. Great.
Yes. Honey badgers, American badgers, old world badgers. I didn't know there were so many badgers either. Hyenas, dwarf crocodiles, alligators.
So you need a permit. I need a permit.
You need a permit.
I need a permit for my hyena and my alligator. Okay.
Yes, and a cassowary and an ostrich.
Oh, thank God.
Class 3 animals owned with no permit is reptiles and amphibians, non-venomous and unprotected, gerbils, hedgehogs, honey, sugar gliders, bushtails, parakeets, rats, mice, canaries.
But we already know that now you have to have a permit for reptiles, so that's a lie.
Well, yeah, I would think it says reptiles.
They should be technically now.
Where are the big snakes? Because I thought you weren't allowed to have retics without a permit.
Right. So I think technically now those 5.
Wonder when that's
those
from.
Big 5 are now on that needing a license thing.
It doesn't tell me when that's from, so maybe this is a little bit older. But anyway,
either way, now we know if you want a spotted hyena, you need a permit. I've trained my howler monkey to ride my spotted hyena.
Yeah,
it took me a while. Also, it cost me a lot of howler monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah, who the hell would want a howler monkey?
They're a horrible creature. I love how it's like gorillas. Well, thank God you said that.
I was thinking about.
I was getting ready to get up. And that ruined my entire idea of having my lowland gorillas in my front yard.
I want an Ed Marina Emerald Trebo, a white back, but in a silverback. Can you do that?
What the hell is that? Oh, that's Jojo. He's my silverback gorilla that I keep chained up in the back.
Yeah, that's great.
Don't get too close to him. He's very territorial.
I wanted to give a congrats to Ron St. Pierre. He got some kind of award or plaque or something at Daytona for a world-class reptile breeder. That's nice. That's pretty awesome. So congrats to him.
One day we'll get a plaque
World-class podcaster.
These morons are still around. It's like, yeah, it's just
yeah, they get an award for not quitting.
Not quitting. Still here, even though no one asked.
The Still Here award.
Yeah. The Still Here award goes to these two.
Yes. Well, it's pretty cool. He's we were listening to him on. I don't know if you were with us when we were. Probably when he was on. He's been on. He's did the podcast round.
He went and did the round. Yeah, okay,
Emerald tree boas and stuff. He was on Reptile Talk with Jeremy and Rob, and it's like a 2-part series. Really good. So if you want to hear him, you should go check out that podcast. It was really good. He did did an awesome job. But he's pumped about Emerald tree boas, man. So. Yeah, we'll see. He was sort of like how he was talking about emerald tree boas is kind of how I feel about like carpet pythons. Like he's trying to dial. I'm like, yeah, I'm with you, Ron. But carpet pythons.
But not those.
Yeah, not those.
I have no love for emerald tree boas. No. None.
Why'd you get bit by one?
Yes, it put a tooth through my thumb. Those things suck. Like it was.
Did you have one as a pet?
No, it was at the zoo. It sucked hard. He had 4 of them, and they were they were basins too.
Oh man,
they were gorgeous, but they were just a-holes. I hated them.
Yeah,
never do emerald tree.
Yeah,
boas.
those tree snakes, man. Woo. They were always like that iconic snake as a kid. They would always be on the front of like reptile books and stuff.
Yeah.
And, more so than green trees. But I don't know. I saw their teeth one time, man, and I'm with you. It's like, holy shit. I like playing guitar too much. I couldn't survive that.
That one was the one that it went through the tip of my thumb. And I pulled the tooth out, and when I pulled the tooth out, it was like arterial, like spray,
squirting blood.
I was like, oh, god, like it was that.
Oh, this is a problem.
Yeah, I'm like that's fine. Oh no. So yeah, that was fucking emeralds, man.
Well, more power to him, man. He found the thing he's into, and he thinks that he can work out some of the issues that they're having. So I wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, dude. Someone has to.
Boas at some point.
Yeah.
I was going to save this for carpets and coffee, but
it's my mission to make them. It's my mission to make them have me on boas because I've produced like a couple boas. And they're like, yeah, god damn it,
not
like this moron. He's here somehow. Yeah, so
he's been on the NPR, the Coulbroid and Coulbroid, and now he's going for the boas.
I'm just going to try for boas. Yeah.
Oh, pretty soon you're going to be a Venomous Etiquette. Venomous Radio pretty soon.
Be on that eventually. I mean, me poking all the rear fang things in the face. Yeah.
It's only leading you to. So if you could keep. All right. Let's say this before I talk about this. If you could keep any venomous and you could keep it responsibly and you could have it knowing that you had the anti-venom, all the stuff, right? What would you keep? What would be the species that you would keep?
You tell me yours first, because then I'll tell you mine.
This is a tough one. I really love rattlesnakes.
Okay.
But I got to say, man, a nice copperhead is hard to beat.
It is.
I think I would go copperhead.
Okay. Spider tail viper.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, I would go spider tail viper. Why? Don't know. It's like
because they're freaking cool.
Because they're freaking cool. because it's somehow you've married the worst nightmare of several people into one creature. It's a venomous snake that has a spider attached to it. Like it's pure
heebie-jeebies.
Pure nightmare fuel for several people, including my wife. She cannot watch them do the with their tails because she hates spiders and it's too much.
She hates spiders.
Can't do it.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh yeah, she won't let. Those are the things that I'm not allowed to breed.
As the one thing she wouldn't be afraid of anything, but I guess we all have our vices.
She cannot do spiders, and centipedes give her a little pause there too. Which centipedes give me pause too. Centipedes suck. So
I don't know. We were supposed to have a Peas on the podcast, but that never happened.
Never happened. Yep.
So anyway, you know me. I probably should save this for. I'll probably hit on Carpets and Coffee.
No,
too,
we do both.
Anyway, I'm always on the lookout for herping traveling equipment. Like each trip that I do, it seems like, I learned something new, how can I improve upon this for the next one? So
a new gadget. This is my portable coffee grinder. Yes.
Dude, it's a portable thermos French press.
It happened. Oh,
yes.
God.
Come on, man. Look at that. It put the coffee in.
Stop.
No more gas station coffee. Right in the mug. All I need is hot water. Dude, this is the best thing ever. It was like $20. Like, come on. There it is.
You're like, thank God. It's just
gas station coffee sucks, man.
Well, no, but I love it because most people are like I got this really cool headlamp that has, or Melissa got it for me, that's LEDs. Yes. Across, like LEDs across here and then one over here. It's bright as shit. It's awesome.
Yes.
And then she got me these other flashlights that attach onto the tips of my fingers. So it's a glove almost, and you turn it on and you can kind of just, so if I'm looking into a hole, I can just kind of do this and I can kind of see it. It's really cool. So wow. I'm getting these advancements and you're like, French press. I can have the coffee.
Yes.
This was your takeaway.
Coffee.
I think about the coffee for other things. Yeah.
Yes. It'll make me sharper to find out. Oh, the other thing I got was this. It's kind of like this thing, but it's where you can put to keep your notes in.
Oh yeah.
Because I was back and forth all the time. It puts a pen in there. You got your field guide in there. You got a book in there. You sort of put it in your pack. But the last couple trips, I haven't been taking down I usually take down data and stuff, and I've been slacking on that.
Well, and we're not really in Australia doing, or you're not taking data in Australia.
Even on our last trip, I didn't really get it. I took some temperatures and stuff like that, but even when we went to the last time we went to West Texas, I was real into taking all the stats and stuff, and I just think when you put it on a spreadsheet, it kind of you start to see patterns of stuff.
Right.
I think, but it's always been a struggle for me because I was doing it in my phone, and then it's I'm taking a picture and I'm typing. Whereas if I just have a notebook, I can just jot it down real quick.
Just go. Yeah.
Take the information later on. So I'm real excited about that. It's the little things, but really it's the French press, man.
it out of all the new gadgets, I can't, you're going to be so happy.
I can have Carpets and Coffee.
Oh my God.
On the road.
But how do you
MPR
fly?
blend on the road.
You can fly with the beans, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in your bag.
Here's another thing I learned about herping. I know Rob and Justin are all into not checking a bag. Never works for me, man.
No.
I always check a bag. I put my backpack into the bag, and I just found that it's easier for me to pack a small suitcase. I can put stuff in it. I don't have to worry about carrying shit on the plane. Yeah, I got to wait a couple extra minutes to pick it up when it comes.
But who gives a damn?
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do? But
and it's also good because then you can, I want to say the last time when I went to Texas, I had a carry-on bag, and then I had my personal item, which was my backpack. But we went to Bob Ashley's place, and I bought some stuff, and I wanted to go freaking nuts. But I'm I only have this much space in my so
right. Taking a hook, if you're taking a hook, if you can take a hook, that's always dodgy.
Yeah,
I've been places where they're sure,
and then they take the hook. Yeah,
they're like, really? That's pretty cool. And I'm
you're right. Yes, I am. I play so one awesome.
On a podcast. Yeah. Yes. Oh wait. So you look for snake?
Yes, all the time.
It's kind of like my hairdresser story. I take pictures of wildlife.
I take pictures of wildlife. So much wildlife I take pictures of.
Yes. Jesus now let me sit on your lap and cut your hair.
That's the weirdest haircut I've ever had.
Wait, you guys never got that?
That's never happened.
Like, no, Eric.
No, Eric,
so
that's
abused.
weird.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
So I guess in closing, we will hit on the Cold-Blooded Cafe.
Or both. We can do both.
Yeah,
you
can do both.
You should get coffee
Cold-Blooded
from
caffeine. That's right.
And then you should
get yourself a travel mug, and you can go all around the town. But yeah, they got some awesome stuff. I got to reach out to Trey.
They have some. They have some new swag. I want to grab some. I want to grab one of their shirts that they had out.
Yeah, I bought one maybe a month ago. Yeah,
I check that out.
Sure. Maybe.
Then the other thing is that we have
Trey to send you a shirt.
Please,
Owen wants a shirt.
He does, extra large, please.
Yes.
Then we have a Cold-Blooded Cafe, which is where you can get your rodents. Please don't get the two of them confused. So we have a promotion for you guys is when you place your order at Cold-Blooded Cafe, use promo code MPR10 to get 10% off your entire order. I think we've heard from a couple people that they got like $50, $45 taken off their order, and that's awesome right now.
It's kind of like free shipping almost.
Yep. Monitor their site because they're always doing deals. We know Chris wanted to do a couple more stuff for us. He had a special menu out for Carpet Fest. So they're always putting stuff on for deals. He is also, they're going to be adding quail soon, is what he's told me. So that'd be a good spot to get your birds. So it's Cold-Blooded Cafe MPR10.
Nice.
Yep.
And then there's all the usual stuff for us.
The Teespring store,
Teespring, the Patreon. The Carpet Fest shirt is still up there if people want to get it.
Yep.
I guess probably in the next couple of weeks we're going to be doing the calendar thing.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Yes,
oh, my God. It is that time.
Yes.
Oh, God. And I'm gone for like a week in October, which is normally when I think we finally end up doing it. Oh, my God.
Maybe we should do it by like the next, maybe by like the beginning of September or something.
I quit. What we should do.
When do you leave?
October 16th. What we should do.
Okay. So me and you will be away at the same time.
Right. So what we should do is we'll make the announcement for the calendar at the beginning of September. People can have the entire month of September to put in their entries. And then the first show in October before we leave will be the calendar show.
Okay.
And then you and I will be gone. And then we'll come back. We'll muck around for a couple more months. And then it'll be the holiday show.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we go into season 13, I guess.
14
at that point.
13, 14.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who cares? Done. It's over. It's done. I'm done.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to do the breeding episode soon too.
Again?
So what are we going to talk about differently?
Can we just get clips from old breeding shows and just go through the questions and just slap
Apparently, I don't follow my own advice because I can't breed diamond pythons. But the advice we give on NPR,
apparently, have you listened to the diamond python episodes?
Well, this was my advice. What I would do.
This is what I said.
Accumulating all that info and sort of filtering it through. When somebody asked, I say, this is what I would do. And they typically have success. I did not.
I showed Melissa, Brandon Wheeler posted up a video of his diamonds outside. And I'm like, this is what I want to do so badly. Like, I want to have a setup and cool? Oh my God.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, how long would you put them out there? I'm like, they'd be like your tortoise. We kick them out during the summer months, and then I'll see you guys later. So,
yeah, I wonder what kind of effect that would have on them for that, those
small couple
being
months
out there for the summertime. Like, I don't know. Like, if
also, I'm putting them outside when it's breeding time for them. So, I would be basically keeping them inside during the winter months, so that I could cool them down, so I could put them outside, so they could lay eggs in the outdoor enclosure.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Seems kind of weird, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would look cool down at the bottom of my yard.
Oh my God, yes.
Enclosure with big trees and shit. I'm gonna have to work on that. I wonder how my neighbors would take to that. They can take the snake people. I don't know how they'll take to the snakes.
How high is the? Nah, you don't even have like a privacy fence. You can't even be like, just don't build it higher than the fence.
I'm going to have to install one.
Well, there goes that idea. It's
yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
It would be.
That would be real cool. So, yeah, I love watching his outside enclosure stuff. I think that's awesome. Chuck does the same thing.
Yeah, with his coastals. Yeah,
coastals and diamonds.
I know
diamonds too. Yeah. So. You're itching for diamonds, man. I'm gonna have to make it happen this year.
They're on my. They're. We talk about like what to do with morphs and stuff when they move on, but like what to do with projects when you cross one off. It's like, all right, and I am. See, I got to get diamond, and then I got to get inland, and I'll have everybody but Imbricata.
Yeah, you've done
Chondro.
Jungle Coastal.
I've done Jungle Coastal. Too. I've done Jungle Coastal. I'm gonna fix the Papuan carpet thing soon. Give me a couple years. But then Variegata, I already got Darwin mixed in there.
So do you count the cross?
I count it because my male's pure.
Okay.
I produced him, or I reproduced him. He was part of it.
The male's okay. Well, then I guess I produced Variegata as well.
There you go.
I kind of was waiting to do.
I mean, if I want to split the hair, sure, but you know, I'm not really going to care too much about that. Plus, I'm really going to focus on the Darwin. Well, I'm sorry, the IJ. You got IJs.
Technically, I've done Variegata. Many times. Exactly. So for right now, I'll count it, but I'm counting it more of like I got the Darwin locality. I'm not counting it off as Variegata. I still have to do IJs. Okay.
But Breadline.
Oh, that's another one that's on my list. The Cape Yorks.
Yeah.
The female will be ready.
So
get the male size. That's Variegata as well.
Yeah. So I got Coastal because I did the Brisbane. I got Chain Eye. I got Breadlie.
Yeah.
And then I have now Ruffy. So I got to get Variegata, Imbricata, Inland, and guess Green Tree Python because I'm going to say I got all the Morelia complex. But I don't want to breed Green Tree Pythons.
You're going to have to.
I don't want to do it.
You're going to have to.
God damn it. Can I just borrow like somebody's adult pair for one season and just babysit?
Sure you can work that out with Buddy.
I will. Let me babysit
Buddy,
your
let
green
me come
trees.
to your house and tell you what to do. Do this. Put them together now.
And there we go. I bred them. Done. No one cares.
Yeah. So, all right. Well,
cool.
That's I don't know. Go ahead, throw your stuff out. I know you're trying to.
All right, everybody should go to rogue-reptiles.com and buy as many snakes as humanly possible because I have a lot. New babies are going to get posted up probably this weekend. I'm going to put them on the website for a week, and then I'll start putting ads up on Morph Market so I can try to get these suckers sold. Also coming soon will be Chinese king rats, Madagascar hognose, rhinos, because a lot of them took food immediately. Awesome. And then
I toy with the idea of putting a rhino upstairs.
Dude, you should. I love rhinos. And
everybody's on the rhino kick.
Everybody's on the rhino kick, and you don't like
nice enclosure set up.
Yeah, beautiful planting kind of a thing. And mine,
maybe I'll have to pull that trigger.
Yeah, I think you should. Of course, would Rob be insulted if you got rhinos from me?
I don't think Rob cares.
I don't think Rob gives a damn. Yeah, all right. Yeah, good point.
The only thing that Rob cares about is you not finding them in the wild before he does.
When am I ever going to go to like China without him? Like, you know, when would I ever do that? You know, if it does happen, I'll lie. I don't need to tell him. It's fine.
I didn't find them.
I didn't find them. Just a picture of me with one.
This is a rough green snake.
Yeah. Know what you're talking about.
Racer.
No, I don't see a horn. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But rogue-reptiles.com. It's all the stuff's up there. Pretty soon we have those, and I will be vending the October Hamburg. That's the next show that I'm slated to vend. Any other questions? Just reach out to us. That's it. That's all I have for everybody this time. So what we'll say is thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch everybody back here for some more Morelia Python Radio. Good night.